Chicago Sky, y'all stink, bro. Y'all, look, there's trash and then there's trash. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, the Chicago Sky got destroyed by the stud buds. Everybody watches the stud buds. Shout out to Courtney Williams and Tisha Heiderman, man. Listen, stud buds stood on business today. Nafisa Collier stood on business today. They destroyed the Chicago Sky.
Forget the endorsements, the magazine covers, and the endless hype. Angel Reese just delivered a performance so catastrophic, it threatens to expose the ugly truth behind her carefully crafted brand. For months, the world has been sold the image of the WNBA's next great superstar, a tough, dominant force destined for greatness. But in a single game against the Minnesota Lynx, that illusion shattered. This wasn't just a bad night. It was a complete meltdown that put all of her deepest flaws on public display. We're talking about a statistical implosion so severe it can't be ignored. A performance that revealed a chaotic, turnover-prone player who looked completely lost on the court. And the scariest part? This wasn't an anomaly. It was the moment the mask finally slipped, revealing a pattern of destructive play that has been simmering just beneath the surface all season long.
Angel Reese had 9 turnovers. Listen, y'all got to stop with this point forward foolishness, man. Let's take a look, man. Hold on, man. Y'all be wildin'. Y'all be wildin', son. Bruh, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop, yo. Y'all gotta stop.
In the entire WNBA and Angel Reese in garbage time. We saw it. Angel Reese last year against the Fever with like 2 minutes to go. She needed to, I think it was like 6 points and 3 rebounds. And she went and caught like 2 rebounds and then immediately goes at Victoria Saxton 3 times in a row.
The Chicago Sky's matchup against the Minnesota Lynx was supposed to be just another game. Instead, it became a public autopsy of Angel Reese's on-court decision-making. The final stat line was a horror show. 9 turnovers. Let that number hang in the air for a moment. 9. In professional basketball, that isn't just a bad stat. It's a confession. It's a player admitting, through action, that they are completely overwhelmed. This wasn't a series of unlucky bounces or brilliant defensive plays by the opposition. This was a systematic breakdown. There were the telegraphed passes, so obvious that a fan in the upper deck could have seen them coming and sprinted down to intercept them. There were the moments she tried to dribble through traffic, only to have the ball stripped away as if she were a tourist in Times Square with an open purse. There were the offensive fouls, clumsy and ill-timed, that didn't just end a possession but also gave the other team free points. Each turnover wasn't just a lost opportunity. It was a dagger to her own team's morale, a gift-wrapped fast break for the Lynx. You could see the life drain from her teammates with each mistake. It was a statistical cry for help, the loudest and most undeniable evidence that the confident superstar persona crumbles under pressure, leaving behind a player lost in the chaos of her own making.
Chases after this opponent, gets close to her during a box out, grabs her by her hips, and hip tosses her, throwing her to the ground. She stands up, she walks over to this opponent, bends over, screams in her face, and flips her the double bird. That's the WNBA gold. We're gonna get into it. And the laughter. Oh, Angel. Oh, my angel, you're my darling. Angel, angel, angel. You've been playing well, Angel. I give it to you. You've been playing well. But every now and then, those stinkers, oh man.
Like, there's absolutely no foul in that. She gets a good whistle, jumps up, and then goes at somebody on the other team. Who's she go at? She goes at Diamond Miller, her former Maryland teammate. And, like, Angel's 1 tech off a suspension as well. And is like, anytime anyone gets into it with her, she's straight in their face. And I'm like, I don't mind that. But you just got to be smart. To be fair, this guy sucks. So you might as well just go and take your, I'll say it.
To shield her from criticism, a convenient narrative has been spun by commentators and PR teams. Angel Reese is evolving into a point forward, a modern facilitator. It's a clever marketing term that conjures images of players like Nikola Jokic or Sabrina Ionescu, basketball geniuses who can orchestrate an entire offense. The only problem is that applying this label to Reese is a work of pure fiction. When she gets the ball in the high post, the offense doesn't flow. It grinds to a screeching halt. She plants her feet in the paint and becomes a human traffic cone, creating a logjam that chokes all movement. Teammates who are supposed to be cutting and moving are instead forced to navigate around her, their offensive routes turning into desperate escape plans. Her attempts to facilitate are a gamble every single time. The ball either leaves her hands with no clear target, destined for the third row, or it's a slow, looping pass that the defense has 5 seconds to read and intercept. This isn't a strategy, it's damage control. The team isn't running plays through her because she's a visionary passer. They're doing it because she can't reliably shoot from outside of 5 feet, and they have to find something for her to do. It's a desperate attempt to hide a fundamental weakness by dressing it up with a fancy title, but anyone watching the game can see the illusion for what it is.
Just when I thought she was turning her season around, just when I thought Angel Reese was graduating from pretend basketball player to make-believe basketball player, the level where it's almost believable that Angel Reese is a basketball player. Just when I thought Angel Reese would pull through in the clutch and do America a favor. With a win last night against the Minnesota Lynx, Angel Reese would have become the most popular player in the WNBA dump. Well, Casey, that's simply not possible. Caitlin Clark will always be the most popular player in the WNBA.
I know why people are defending this. Let's get into it. Nneka Ogwumike, she gets up, proceeds to get boxed out, unable to move her opponent out of the way. Nneka Ogwumike retaliates, grabs her by the hips, throws her to the floor, stands over her, screams on her, flips her the double bird. Quinterly, Dallas Wings teammate, being a good teammate, gets in the middle of the two, pushes Nneka out of the way like a good teammate should. Instead of saying, Nneka, come here, let me get you a hug. No, get up off my teammate, girl. Get up off my teammate. Nneka Ogwumike can't let it go.
Beyond the turnovers and the offensive struggles lies an even more alarming issue: her temper. Angel Reese plays with a fuse so short it's practically invisible, and she is a ticking time bomb of technical fouls. She is constantly operating on the verge of suspension, a self-imposed liability that could hamstring her team at the worst possible moment. This isn't just competitive fire, it's a pattern of losing control. The most infamous example, of course, was the incident with Alyssa Thomas. What should have been a routine box out escalated into a full-blown hip toss, a move that belongs in a wrestling ring, not on a basketball court. It was a reckless and dangerous play that showed a shocking lack of regard for an opponent's safety. But that was just one moment in a long highlight reel of aggression. She constantly seeks out confrontation, taunting opponents after every minor victory and getting in the faces of referees to argue calls. She has embraced the role of an enforcer, but without the discipline to back it up. This constant aggression isn't a sign of leadership, it's a sign of immaturity. It's a DMN liability, and it repeatedly puts her team in a compromising position, forcing them to play around her volatile emotions.
I'm telling you, with a win last night, Angel Reese would have surpassed the Rue from Waterloo in popularity. Now, I am not saying that her dozens of aliases would have passed Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese herself, she definitely would have. Going into the game last night, Cheryl Reed, the head coach of the Minnesota Lynx, she told the doofus duo who refer to themselves as stud buds, she told them if they lost this game to the Chicago Bravado, they would no longer be allowed to stream on Twitch.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand.
Her explosive temper isn't just reserved for opponents and referees. In one of the most jaw-dropping displays of unprofessionalism seen in recent years, Reese was caught on camera slapping a clipboard directly out of her assistant coach's hands during a timeout. In that one shocking moment, the power dynamics of the Chicago Sky were laid bare for the world to see. It was an act of pure, unadulterated disrespect, a blatant signal that she believes she is above coaching. It raises the terrifying question that the front office must be asking themselves: who is actually running this team? The coaching staff appears to be held hostage. They are trapped between the need to instill discipline and the fear of alienating their biggest star, who is also their biggest marketing asset. Benching her would create a media firestorm. Criticizing her publicly would be career suicide. So they are reduced to managing her ego, tiptoeing around her moods, and hoping she doesn't completely implode. The clipboard slap wasn't just a moment of frustration. It was a declaration. It showed that on the Chicago Sky, the star player doesn't answer to the coaches answer to her.
Lads, Angel Reese is currently about to be suspended. She has 7 technical fouls on the season. And if this was last season, in a 44-game season, she would have already been suspended. And it is genuinely one of the funny things about this is that her fans are arguing that none of the techs are warranted. They are all warranted.
Whenever criticism of her game surfaces, her defenders retreat to the same safe space, the box score. But she had a double-double, they cry, as if that single statistic absolves her of all sins. On paper, a line like 14 points and 12 rebounds looks impressive. But these are the definition of empty calorie stats. They look good, but they offer zero nutritional value to a winning team. If you dig deeper, the entire narrative collapses. A significant portion of her rebounds are what analysts call self-assisted boards, the ones she grabs after her own missed shot from point-blank range. She's not dominating the glass, she's cleaning up her own mess. Her point totals are a product of sheer volume, not efficiency. She has to take a mountain of shots to get a molehill of points, hijacking the offense and shooting with a field goal percentage that would make a center from the 1950s cringe. A double-double is meaningless when it's accompanied by a game-high number of turnovers and a blowout loss. It's fool's gold, a statistical mirage that distracts from the fact that her net impact on the game was overwhelmingly negative. She's busy padding her stats for the post-game graphic while her team is drowning.
What's up, y'all? I just want to talk about this chick, Angel Reese, for a second. She has been all over my timeline, over my Twitter or X, Instagram, TikTok. She's always pushing people and this and that. She's always in controversy. So let me address this situation real quick. How is she a professional athlete? Like, can we step back for a second and just analyze this situation? How in the world is this chick a professional athlete? She is, out of all the clips that I've seen, she is the worst basketball player I've ever seen.
There is a massive, cavernous gap between the Angel Reese sold to the public and the Angel Reese that shows up on game day. The league and media's PR machine, desperate for new stars and juicy rivalries, has pushed her to the forefront. They've manufactured a rivalry with Caitlin Clark, framing them as two equal titans clashing for the soul of the WNBA. It's a narrative that generates clicks and ratings, but it's built on a false equivalence. Commentators will go out of their way to praise her intangibles, talking about her energy and her presence. They conveniently ignore the fact that her energy often leads to a reckless foul, and her presence is usually clogging the paint. Highlight reels are a masterclass in deceptive editing, showcasing a powerful layup while carefully cutting away before you see the 3 turnovers that preceded it. This creates a distorted reality where casual fans, who only see the curated clips, believe she is a dominant, unstoppable force. But for those who watch the full games, the eye test people, the truth is unavoidable. They see the clumsy footwork, the questionable basketball IQ, and the volatile temper that the highlight packages so carefully hide.
You called her garbage compared to Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love black people. Mwah, 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 mwah. but I think sometimes we do play the race card too much. This ain't racial. This is about sports. This is about athletic ability. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at Caitlin Clark's game, who's very reminiscent of a Steph Curry, based on her range and shooting the three, plus everything else she does. And then you look at Angel Reese.
At the end of the day, the people who suffer the most from this paradox are her own teammates. They are forced to play a restricted, hesitant style of basketball, constantly bracing for the inevitable mistake. Watch their body language when Reese has the ball. You can see the hesitation in their cuts, the slight pause as they wonder if a pass is actually coming or if it will even be catchable. It's like playing with a live grenade. You never know when it's going to go off. The entire offensive scheme has to be warped to accommodate her limitations. Players who are better shooters are sidelined, and plays that require fluid movement are scrapped because the lane is perpetually occupied. The offense becomes a slow, predictable grind, centered around forcing the ball to a player who struggles to do anything efficient with it. This isn't building a team. It's sacrificing the collective for the individual. Angel Reese isn't the engine of the Chicago Sky. She's the emergency brake, constantly being pulled at the most inopportune times, bringing the team's progress to a screeching, painful halt.
I'm sorry, but I don't know who need to hear this, but Angel Reese got to be the worst basketball player ever. She's the worst basketball player ever. Like, do y'all guys don't understand this? She only made 2 points with 12 rebounds. She missed a couple of shots and she missed a rebound, bro. She only made 12 rebounds. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 12 rebounds.
This brings us back to the central, uncomfortable conflict. Angel Reese is a cultural icon, a marketing dream who has brought an unprecedented level of attention and excitement to the WNBA. Her value to the league's brand is undeniable. But on the court, she is a whirlwind of contradictions. She's an elite rebounder with remedial footwork, a player oozing with confidence but plagued by poor decision-making. She portrays herself as a leader, yet leads the league in technicals and disrespects her own coaches. The star has become a spectacle. And so the Chicago Sky and the league as a whole are left with a dangerous question. Can a team truly build a championship culture around a player who is so fundamentally volatile? Or is the price of her fame simply too high, destined to burn bright and hot, but ultimately burn out her own team's chances of ever reaching the top? The answer will define not only her career, but the future of an entire franchise.